Everyone. So, in my view, the biggest feature of the game is open, as I'm sure everyone is aware, the Soul Exchange. So I wanted to go about this a little bit differently to the other videos that I've seen, as everyone is just ranking their Soul Exchange heroes from 1 to 15 and giving their view on it. Which is fine, obviously that's good content, but from my perspective I'd like to talk a bit more about the Soul Exchange as a function, and this Soul Exchange in particular. So obviously everybody's saying that the Soul Exchange is the best Soul Exchange it's ever been, and I agree with that. That's obvious for me, but the Soul Exchange in the past have been that bad that any sort of step up in hero would be a massive bonus. So we have some very relevant heroes here. We have some heroes with good stats. We've got heroes with a mixture of costumes, and thankfully we haven't got any heroes of the month. So it is a step up, but I've been the first person to say that the Soul Exchange has been that bad in the past that any sort of injection of half decent heroes will be a massive step up. So I think we've diluted our standards that much in this gameplay that if the creators provide us with some sort of good heroes, then we almost think that it's revolutionary. Whereas, to be honest, don't get drunk on what is in the Soul Exchange at the moment. Go and have a look. Go and have a look who the best teams are in the top 100 alliances. Go and play raids in the Platinum raid events. And in my opinion, you don't see these heroes. Well, I say my opinion. I play the raids and them heroes just simply aren't there. I don't see them in wars. I may see this hero, Hrothgar, sometimes. I may see Domiventis the odd time. And this hero, perhaps, Maegwyn. But other than that, I don't see any heroes. You might see this hero in Rush War. And that is it. That is it. This hero used to be a staple hold, but he's not any longer. And this isn't a video to criticise. This is a video for perspective. Do not get drunk on Soul Exchange. Whatever you do, do not do that. These heroes are not top heroes. And this is why I wanted to talk about the Soul Exchange as a function to begin with. In my opinion, this is the best feature of the game. Why it's the best feature, not because it gives the best heroes, but it has the potential to bring so many people into this game, because the thought of picking a hero of your own choice is a very powerful mechanic. But sadly, since it's been introduced, the creators have always put the wrong heroes in the Soul Exchange, in my opinion. And now there's that many heroes. From my perspective, they could change Soul Exchange up and put another layer of heroes into this for 30 or 40 heroes. And some people will not like that. But you need to start having the Soul Exchange be some level of competitive. And this isn't me preaching, this is bringing some facts to what this is, because everybody will be jumping straight into who to choose. These heroes, do not pick one if you're not going to level them. Do not waste 10, 15 or 20 heroes if you're not going to level them. I've done that in the past, watching videos and getting gassed up on who to pick. That is the wrong method to do. So I think they should change the Soul Exchange feature in its entirety. Personally, I think they should bring more newer heroes to it. And I'm not saying the current meta heroes that have just come out, but they can't be heroes that are several years old, like this hero here, that was once a top hero, but when his power's at 1388, he can have the best skill in the world. He's just not got the survival stats to be competitive at a decent level. Same as this hero. Brilliant hero when it come out, Odile, but no longer dining at any sort of top table with them stats. These are just facts I'm giving you before you make your pick. And I wanted to make my video late because I know everybody's jumping on board trying to rank them, but I think there are lots of other things to think about before you jump straight in here, because we're not just talking about choosing a hero, we're talking about people's money. To get 20 spare 5-star heroes, you need to invest. So you need to make sure you're doing this correctly. So, in summary, Soul Exchange is the best feature in the game, but the way it is currently set up with the mechanics, it's not the best feature in the game because of the heroes and the number of heroes you're exchanging for them. There's certain heroes in here that I don't think are worth anywhere near it, but yet you watch all the content online and they're telling you it's the best Soul Exchange. Yes, it is, but it's been so weak in the past that, I'm sorry, any level of step up was just making it the best Soul Exchange ever. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. So we've got how good it is. Now I just want to move on to a small fact about the previous Soul Exchange. So a lot of people were saying this is a prime example. The last Soul Exchange, people were saying to get Daemon, and he was in the 20 soul category. Why would you get Daemon? I was asking, because he wasn't a good hero. He was just a counter for one hero in Bernadette. You were to exchange 20 souls for Daemon. I was telling people if you were going to get a hero and spend 20 souls, you had to get Hetaferes because of the stats and other things that we will get onto now. And now what have we seen? We have seen that Daemon is in the latest Fated summon, because the reality is it goes back to the mechanics of the Soul Exchange. Them heroes are nowhere near top heroes, and I thought that was a bit of a slap in the face, to be honest, that you would get a hero for 20 souls just 3 or so months ago, and then that hero would be available in the Fated summon. And I don't know, as the community we can't do anything, it feels like, but that was a bad move. That was by the content creators and the creators of the game. What I was uncomfortable as well with was this Soul Exchange was put to a vote, and everybody voted on a website, Mpuzzled, which is a fantastic website. Go and check that out. The person who's created that has put in some serious effort and deserves a shout out. But the reality is that after everybody had voted, the creators then changed the list. So this hero, as one of them, to my understanding, wasn't in the list. I actually voted, but I can't remember every soul that was in there. And again, that just shouldn't happen. Just shouldn't happen. Just be straight. This is a big choice when you're trading in 20 souls. And again, people are investing a lot of money. So I think them things are very relevant. But then I want to go on to who should you choose. So this isn't me telling you who you should choose. More of a breakdown of what you need to look out for when making your decision. So number one for me, it always depends on who is in your roster. This is ranked. The first initial thing you need to think about, in my opinion. Who is in your roster and why should you choose then that person? Because if you've got, I don't want it to sound so obvious, but if you've got lots of greens, you don't want to pick a green. If you've got lots of healers, then don't pick another healer. If you've got loads of killers, Don't pick loads of attacking heroes. You need a defensive hero. And you're getting your choice on who to pick. So be very mindful of what is in your roster. Next, I would say you need to think about the resources. I think this is really important, especially if you go into max heroes. So if you're going to max a hero, let's say Maegwyn, for example, if you haven't got all the materials to max this hero, this is probably a bit of exaggeration because you will have some of the materials, but perhaps not all the cleric emblems. The difference it makes in that player's capability in the gameplay is massive. So do not blindly pick a hero if you haven't gone through what your resources are. Make sure you check, because there are so many resources now which you need to get to level a hero, and that is not to be overlooked. And as you can see, I've got a lot of the essential materials, but then you need to also think about the emblems. And these, the master emblems, are so hard to come across. Like, for instance, now, from my perspective, I just will not be picking a cleric unless it's an absolute superstar, because I've got lots of clerics and I can't get these emblems. I just can't get them fast enough. So do not get a hero if you want that hero to be in your team, which you cannot then level. Some people might think this is obvious, but lots of people are doing this without looking at the bigger picture, and then they're wasting 20 souls for a hero that they can't level. Okay, next part, which I think is really important, is the statistics. So on the stats, this is fundamental. I used that example of Daemon in the last Soul Exchange. So I didn't pick Daemon, which I said. I picked Hetepheres. And I haven't been able to level Hetepheres up because I've walked into the same problem I've got with the clerics. But maxing that hero to 90 was enough for me to really have this hero competitive at the level that I play at. But then I got Daemon in the Fated Summon, and Daemon is quite a bit less in relation to his stats. So I wouldn't personally even level up Daemon now. I don't think he's that relevant. But this should be a key decisive factor for you when you're picking your hero on who has very, very good stats. So you need to consider this hero. This hero. These foxes. Let's put the max power preview back on. These foxes still got relatively good stats. This Iocantha, I wouldn't pick this hero because of the stats. Poffit, I wouldn't pick purely because of the stats. Peregrine, that is on the cusp of what I would pick. I would go less than 1500 to that level, no less, really. I wouldn't, it's not going to be competitive. And then you've got all the heroes on the top line who have got competitive stats, with Domi Ventis, Hrothgar and Maegwyn having, and this hero, Willinthau. Very competitive stats, but don't pick a hero with low stats. Simple as that. Unless you think their skill is out of this world. But trust me, against the top tier teams, you will not be competitive because they will just blow them out the water. It happens to me all the time. I haven't got the best of rosters, and I try to mix my play up, and I soon realise very fast that stats mean an awful lot. Try it. Mix up your roster. Go up against a team, 8,500, something like that, the stats, and just see. And look, it doesn't even have to be the best heroes. It's just heroes with costumes. It doesn't have to be the meta heroes. You just start to see that they're so survivable that they outlast you. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, which is the biggest factor in my opinion, is who is the hardest person you go up against when you're playing. This, for me, is a massive factor, and I don't hear anyone else speak about it on their YouTube channels. I never hear anyone say, go and experience playing against the hero that you think you want. So I'll give you a perfect example. This hero, Hrothgar, he is an excellent defensive hero. And I know this because when I go up against him, he gives me absolute nightmares with that massive hit, then all the mana control. He is a nightmare. And you need to pick a hero based around this. You need to find heroes who are a massive pain, who will provide real longevity in your team. And this is where I struggle now with this roster here of 15 heroes, because I hardly ever see them in anyone's team. I've seen Maegwyn a little bit. I don't see much of Domi Ventus, so I don't really know, even though on paper his skill looks really good. I've never seen this hero, Willinthau, and I've not seen much of Gouldrum, but I know that the slime heroes are a nightmare to go up against in general. This hero can be a nightmare because the stats are so high, it's so survivable, and when it does go off, it causes mayhem. Such a huge hit. The passives can give more hits and more power when it does go off. This hero, not as impactful, but good hero because it's lasting with its stats and also is doing mana control. So they're the things to think about. They're the top 4. It depends on your roster. You need to understand your resources, look at the stats, and who is the biggest nightmare to play against. They are the key factors, in my opinion, on when you're choosing a hero. Especially in Soul Exchange, where you're having some level of freedom on who to pick. So yeah, just another bit of advice. Never pick the hero early. Never be one of these people on day 1 you just jump in and you pick who you want to pick. That's a terrible tactic to take. Do not do that. Wait. Play the game a little bit. Like I said, look who are the heroes, who are the most pain to go against. Bear in mind the stats, look at your resources and analyse your roster. Especially if it's 20 souls. If it's 10 souls, fair enough. Just pick who you want then, be a bit more looser. But do not just rush it. Why rush it? It's a 3-day event. Don't do it. So, yeah, just try to come at this a little bit of a different angle to everybody else. I wanted people to really consider these points as information and learning, as we have now had quite a number of the iterations of Soul Exchange. I hope that the creators really take on board that this needs keeping up with people and the mentality of the game. And people shouldn't just dine out on this is a really good Soul Exchange. It is good, but we need to keep having it better. There's that many heroes in the game now that this could be a lot better with the amount of heroes in the game. I genuinely don't see all the heroes in the game. It's that full of heroes now. There's new heroes coming out constantly, as you will see. So I think from my perspective, who are the best heroes then? Based on them 4 factors that I've outlined in this video. I think at the 10 heroes, in my view, it's this hero, Amos. So he hits really hard, he is slow, but when he does go off, he's a complete nightmare, especially against fire heroes. Do not take fire heroes against this person, but in the rush war, on your attack, he can absolutely terrorise people. But always again, think, do you need a rush hero? Would you exchange 10 souls for a rush hero to then level them? Do you have the resources? This hero's definitely got the stats, and he is a nightmare to go against in situations. My other picks here, this one maybe. If you need a healer and you've only got the opportunity to get 10 souls, this is a really good hero. And this hero. Do not pick the other two. This is the number one hero for me. The 15 souls. Everyone's talking about Silverpaw. I think the meta has gone. You don't see minions and mega minions now. The lasting greed can be neutralized very easily. I wouldn't exchange 15 souls for him. Swiftpaw, he's an average speed sniper. I think there's a lot better heroes out there who hit harder at fast speed. He wouldn't be my pick either. I'm just trying to outline that because a lot of people are saying to pick these Fox heroes, but honestly, you don't see them at the half decent level of gameplay. I never see them them two in wars or raids. If this soul exchange was 18 months or so ago, I would be picking Prophet out of this line for sure because of the skill. But again, to go back to the key point, stats, do not pick Prophet. He was not survivable in this meta. The number one hero in the 15s is Peregrine. Hits really hard as the enhanced dodge, and then after it's removed, the ally gets plus 70% attack for 5 turns. Really good passives as well. That's the best hero in the 15 line. Trust me, really, really good hero. And then we come to the 20 souls where it definitely isn't as easy, where then you need to factor in all 4. What is your roster? What are your resources? The stats, and then who is the biggest nightmare to go against? In my view, this is the biggest nightmare to go against. And he has the stats. To be honest, all of these people in the 20 have the stats. But I don't know if I'm going to pick Hrothgar because my blues are solid. So hopefully this is a bit of an educational video. Something to bear in mind. I've tried to provide quite in-depth information here because I want people to step back, take a breath, and not just jump straight into the soul exchange because I've done it before. I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example just to show you in real world terms what I've done in the past. Sorry to be flicking through the screen here. So Acid Fire. I got Acid Fire because I've always wanted a goblin, and I think this hero is really good. But then when I got him into my roster around the other heroes, and then when you get free pulls and other pulls, if you pay for pulls, if you start pulling newer heroes, I was just never in a position to level Acid Fire and give him them resources, thinking of them combination of 4. I'm not going to put my resources into Acid Fire to a hero that's never going to get to the stat level that's competitive in today's meta. And then as time goes on, you pull other heroes, and I haven't got the deepest of rosters, as you can see here. This is hopefully giving you an insight, and sorry for the extensive scrolling, but just to get to the top, like these are my purples. So as you can see, they're not the best of heroes, but Acid Fire just can't get a look in. I can't provide him with them resources. So, and I spent 20 souls on him. Then I pulled this person last week as an example to put it even further on the back burner. So, really do think about it. Or unless you're reckless and you don't care and you just want to clear roster space. It is that simple for some people. But for other people who I know who play the game, hopefully this is a really good insight. And also think about the other features in the game where you can level up the heroes for gems. And if you can do that, so I know Dom Eventus can do that, and it's coming in March where you can level up the hero for 1,000 gems. So Acid Fire, for example, I wouldn't have leveled him up for 1,000 gems, but Dom Eventus I would. So just think about these things. Hopefully there's lots of information here, and I want to get some engagement. So if people want to give me some comments, if they agree with what I've said, if they disagree with what I said, I'm happy for the open discussion, and I would just like your feedback, because they are, for me, the most fundamental part you need to think about. And who am I going to pick? Sorry, but I can't say in this video because I haven't made up my mind yet. So still some thinking to do, even though it only has just less than 10 hours remaining. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. And please leave a comment below so we can have a good discussion about what you're picking in Soul Exchange and what your feedback is. Thank you very much, everybody.